Hello, welcome to the Boofcast, rated 5 stars on Yelp by Gamer Dustin. Gamer Dustin says, I would have never found a girlfriend without this podcast. Well, Gamer Dustin, I don't really think that would have helped your chances either way, because I'm pretty sure you don't have one anyway. So, how are you guys?
Congratulations,
Doing
by the
pretty
way,
good.
Gamer Dustin.
Oh, I know.
I'm doing alright.
Well, how was school?
I don't go to...
You don't go to school. What a fucking tard.
I respect the decision though, man. If I honestly, like, I would definitely just be like working right now if I didn't have to go to school.
Well, I'm going to be going to school. I'm currently not at school.
He works at Gamer Dustin's place.
Oh, true. Okay.
Yeah.
I hear he pays pretty big, actually.
No, but
The salary's alright, but I've been asking him to bump it up a bit recently.
yeah, Gamer Dustin's been paying him 4 cents an hour.
Yeah, the economy's been kind of bad.
He's not too compliant.
I got
He doesn't really clean my cage.
got the inflation. The inflation rates are going up. You know,
Yeah.
4 cents an hour you make in bank.
That's not. I don't think that's bank.
I mean, inflation rates though. You know.
I think that's way. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be a reverse inflation?
I mean, it could be worse. We could be like Zimbabwe.
We could be in Wakanda.
I believe they're printing like $1 trillion bills.
Wait,
Oh yeah, because their
wait.
money is legitimately like worth fuck all. I actually heard about that.
It's
Yeah.
worth less than my ex-girlfriend.
That's okay, tough.
Would it be a strat?
No, sorry, more.
Okay, would it be an actual like optimal strategy for like lower mid class or like poor people to like use most of their money to uproot and move to Zimbabwe, but have the rest of their savings, and that translates over to be like actual fuckloads of money?
Well, they're rich. No,
Like,
think about
they
it,
would be the rich person in Zimbabwe.
dude. Wait a minute. Can we just like?
I mean, yeah, but what's freaking fucking
Yeah, but like
Zimbabwe?
also don't most countries like try to make it so
It's fair.
like one currency from another country isn't like, you know, super.
Well, there's
or,
like translation
so much-
rates for
well,
it
yeah,
that are
but, like,
accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm actually going to go ahead and look that up.
Well, I mean,
Like, if you, like... See, the thing with that is, like, if you think about it, the fact that they're printing trillion-dollar bills means they're handing out trillion-dollar bills, which means, like, even if you were to uproot and move there, you'd take your money, but you'd still have, like, I don't know, just as much as another middle-class family. Like, say if they were to move to, like, the U.S. or something, I mean, they would have the same
maybe
amount of
poor
money.
as
we-
fuck.
I mean,
Yeah.
not necessarily, though, because there are still, like, some
Well, that's
more
true.
wealthy cities in like Africa that just like people do live in decent housing.
Yeah,
South
currently,
Africa.
one USD is equivalent to 362 Zimbabwean dollars.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous. Holy shit.
That's a rate.
that's a move.
Okay.
Well, honestly,
And people thought the Swedish krona was becoming useless.
I know Zimbabwe doesn't have it. You know.
Bro, the Swedish kroner is only 9. It's 9 kroner per US dollar. It's so worthless now.
No, but I have a question. What's happened with you guys recently? I haven't really talked to Lumpy much. How you been, bro?
I mean, I've been alright. I cut my thumb like 2 fucking weeks ago at work.
Yeah,
so
I
I haven't
know.
really been able to I haven't been able to do anything for a while. Like,
Yeah, bro. Without those sums, you're useless.
dude, no, actually though. And like the worst part about it is I couldn't play any video games or anything because like the second I even pressed my space bar with that thumb, it would just start to bleed. So I've had to pretty much limit myself on what I'm doing or remap keybinds, which means I have to like relearn all the games that I'm playing, like CS, for instance, that I've been playing a lot of recently. I've had to remap my jump button to my mouse because I haven't been able to like press my spacebar with my left thumb because it would just fucking the second I press anything with it, it just bleeds profusely.
Yeah. No, I mean, last week I tripped.
Nice.
Wait, was that it?
I thought there was gonna be a little bit more to that one, but I guess not.
Nah, I tripped.
Okay. I mean, shit, that sucks, I guess. But I mean, hopefully
Dude,
it wasn't like 3 stitches bad, because it's basically how my thumb went.
Well, I mean, I tripped. I scraped my hands, and I was like, "Fuck."
Nosavo, what about that? You know, that skateboard ride you went on? You know. You
Oh
ran
my
into that
god,
curb?
yeah. Oh, I was coming back from Chipotle, right? And I'm riding on my skateboard. Yep, as you do. And as I was crossing the street while it was a straight red light, this bitch comes out of nowhere. I get fucking hit by. I get fully hit by this car. Like I have to. I jump off my board. I get hit by the car. I roll over the car and land on the ground. And I flip her off, and she just doesn't stop. One person got out, was like, "Bro, dude, are you good, man?" I was like, "Yeah." And then, I think what Venus may be talking about is then the next day, coming back from Chipotle again, I skateboard into a pole.
Yikes.
I was
Okay, well that's not the fault of an ass.
I was super dizzy that day, and I don't know why. And I'm always dizzy, but I was
Oh,
extra
yeah,
dizzy that day,
let's-
and I just went into a pole.
Let's skateboard while we're super dizzy.
No, I'm always dizzy. I just didn't expect myself to be that dizzy.
Yeah.
Did
True.
someone say weeb?
No.
Weeb.
No, I said weed. Did someone say weed?
Oh.
No.
Somebody say marijuana?
Did someone say an ounce of?
Wait.
Wanna
Have you
smoke
guys?
that grass?
You all of you have seen this video, right?
Did someone say a gram of weed for $100?
That's
The-
outrageous.
That's legitimately like cocaine prices.
Yeah, that's outrageous.
Yeah, trees. That's outrageous.
But the fucking Rick Astley never gonna give you up. Is that what we're talking
No,
about?
no.
Like
Never
the
gonna-
pitched one?
Yeah, never gonna hit those
Never
notes.
gonna hit those notes.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, I've seen it.
Never gonna run around and hurt you.
Yeah, that video is fucking something else.
Yeah.
It's a video.
What about it though, F?
I don't know. You know, you just never seen it because I don't know. I've seen it a few times.
I've
It's
seen it
definitely-
more than a few times.
Yeah, it's definitely a video that gets around a lot. Oh god, what is this? Yeah. Welcome to Zimbabwe. Money is now illegal.
Can't believe Zimbabwe actually outlawed currency.
I know. They just ran
current-
out.
Yeah, they just rely on trade.
People are just
Currency is gone, crab rave.
people are just in the
They just-
streets
They
grabbing
just
anything
reverted
they
back
want.
to like using like rocks and sticks as currency. You know?
Legit like fur trading, yeah.
Just fire is currency. If you can make fire, you have currency.
Their
Oh my
speech
god,
is
that man can make
devolving
fire.
as well.
Oh
Like,
man, that can make fire.
Everything revolves around like different
They-
ways to make fire. So like a
they-
piece of flint is worth like $100, but a lighter's like $300.
They just start rapidly evolving backwards.
You're
Like within the next 100 years, they become real-time cavemen.
no, the Zoomers are born, and after the Zoomers are born, they just go to Zimbabwe and they're literal fucking monkeys.
Oh god.
Is Zimbabwe in Africa?
Yes.
Why did I
Yes.
say that? No offense to anyone in Zimbabwe. I love you guys. Where all my Zimbabwe Sonic Texture Pack users at?
My God.
You're really milking that fucking texture.
It's not my fault anymore. It's just them. It's just all them.
I mean, yeah, I
Are
honestly I
there even
can't blame
any
you.
GD
All the
players
Zimbabweans.
in Zimbabwe?
That's a good question, Eth. Like,
I bet you know. I bet
What
zero.
I'm putting my money on a solid like 2.
I put my
Just
money
like
on a solid 1.
Two.
The best.
There's definitely
The
like
Pesta
two.
lives
I'm
in
gonna look it
Zimbabwe.
up.
I mean,
No, but has anything happened with you
Maybe.
guys recently?
Yeah.
Like, anything good, anything bad?
Nothing of note.
I mean, school's fucking draining my life force, but I mean,
Hey, Trees, didn't you
what else can you expect?
didn't you get a lady recently?
Not fully, but I'm in the process of achieving a female. Yeah.
Mm,
Man is making moves. Okay, respect it.
Nice.
Dang, bro, there isn't any. Or I can't see anybody from Zimbabwe.
Cool.
Yeah.
Neither can I.
She's from Zimbabwe.
Oh.
wow.
Ooh.
Do tell.
I have no idea where to go with this bit. I'm sorry.
Well, she brought a pumpkin from Zimbabwe and you made it your son.
Indeed, we
Oh
did
my
adopt a
God.
child. He did not come from Zimbabwe. We
Oh!
did adopt a child who came from Sweden. In fact,
Sweden.
yeah.
Hmm.
I was going to lead a joke into their currency, but I forgot what it was called already.
Crowns.
The Swedish krona.
Kronas.
Kronos.
I just said crowns. We sell crowns.
Well, crowns, I'm pretty sure that is a currency, but I don't know where.
I know. No, yeah. No, it's
Turkish
like
crowns.
Is that so? Is that what it is?
I seriously
Or is that
doubt it.
just like a guess? I was
Yeah,
okay.
I highly doubt it.
I'd have to do some more research. I'm not educated
Dude,
enough
I-
as a North American.
I'm not an economics student.
Yeah.
I asked my dad today. So this is completely off topic, but I asked him today, "Hey, Dad, so you know the Big Bang?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Has the explosion slowed down at all?" And he said, "Technically, no." And I said, "You fool! It's just no."
Oh, where does the technically come from in there?
I have
Like,
no
what
idea. I just told him what I said. I said there's no air resistance in space. He was like, I mean, but he was like,
there's no forces.
yeah.
oh yeah. He said the gravity inside the universe is pulling it and slowing it down. I'm like, bruh,
No,
boomer,
it doesn't.
boomer.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, no, I told him. No, but I want to talk about something that's been bothering me lately. Like,
What has been bothering you lately?
so I was talking to someone, and they said, why do guys hold in their emotions? Like, why do we not want our emotions to be seen?
Because we have trouble expressing them.
I have no trouble expressing them. I just don't want them to be seen. But why?
Because you have a male bravado that you can't get over. Because your father is the same way. He has very alpha male, like you've said multiple times. So it's probably something descending from that. And the fact that your DNA is very closely linked to his. Some people, like myself, just don't know how to express emotion. But I mean, that's basically because I have
Oh yeah, let's go. That's
I
me.
don't
autism
actually.
to a point. But
I actually don't have any of those issues. My thing is that I don't really talk to people about things unless I'm very good friends with them, if that makes sense.
Oh,
Like, most of the time, I don't think there's any online friends I've ever had a very, very serious conversation with.
yeah.
Like, ever.
Only time is the closest thing I can remember is you talked something serious with me in Warfare once. Like, you've talked with Warfare about serious things, and you've talked with me about serious things, but, like, not...
Well, most of
about
the
you?
time, I'm usually there for the conversation and just pitching in with ideas. I'm not really talking about, like, personal experiences.
I mean, we had that one time, like, I think mid-11th grade, where I was kind of going through something, and I talked to you about it, and you were, like, telling me things, but that's the closest I can remember to anything.
Well, a lot of things aren't really private to me. Like, a bunch of my past relationships and shit, they aren't big deals for me to bring up anymore.
Well,
Because
because
they don't really bother me.
and besides, bringing them up isn't really going to change what happened, you know?
Yeah, that as well. Like, plus, yeah, I'm just over it. Like, it doesn't bother me anymore.
I think that's a good way to let things live.
Yeah.
Just kind of, I don't know, a good like mentality to have is just like roll with the punches and just honestly just let life take you it wants to,
Well,
basically.
to keep this podcast from going any deeper than we've already gone, I showed my dad a picture today, right? And I said,
Okay.
this will be used soon. And where is the picture? It was me showing him a picture of how a guy said putting a Batman costume in my closet once Alzheimer's finally takes over to fuck with me. I showed it to my dad and I said, that'll be used soon. And he said, yep. You got really
Alzheimer's is a scary thing, man.
I know.
Do you think people with Alzheimer's forget they have Alzheimer's?
I saw this one
Damn.
meme where this
Damn.
guy forgot, like, he had Alzheimer's, but he forgot he had Alzheimer's because of the Alzheimer's, and then he was cured. Again,
yeah.
it was a meme. It was fucking. I
Maybe,
saw
maybe,
it. And
that's actually
I saw one
how,
that was
like, you
it
would
was
cure
just-
it. You know, because like, if you just forget you have it, then you don't have it anymore.
Yeah,
but that's just it.
Well, I
Are you
forgot I had
really aware
cancer. Do
that
I
you
really have no cancer anymore?
Well, no, but see, the thing with that is like, it's not like pay it no mind and it's not there kind of thing. It's like, with Alzheimer's specifically, is like, it's not the fact, like, are you conscientious about the fact that you have Alzheimer's while you have Alzheimer's? Or like,
It's just gonna
you
do
just
its.
kind of,
Like, actually, I don't think so. Like,
do you
really?
just kind of like
No.
Thanos it and like, I don't know who the fuck you are?
I think like it just takes time, and I think eventually it just like takes such a long time to like develop that like you just don't realize it.
Yeah, and by the time it's like set in, it's too late, and you're just kind of
Alzheimer's is very
like
common.
a puppet almost.
Alzheimer's,
It really is.
more than 3 million U.S. cases per year.
Yeah,
Treatment
I think.
treatment can help, but this condition can't be cured. Can last for years or be lifelong. Memory loss
Yeah.
and confusion are the main symptoms, and brain cell connections in the cells themselves degenerate and die, eventually destroying memory and other important mental functions. Bro, those ads about jellyfish preserving your brain, I might want to take those supplements, bro. Because I do not
Bruh.
want to forget. If they're like fucking the ones that go up your ass, I'll do it any time. I don't want to forget.
I already might have like early onset Alzheimer's or something because my memory has been shot for years.
No, that's just bad short-term
That's
memory.
that's probably just me. Yeah.
No, that's just bad
like, short-term memory loss.
Besides
or
it,
something.
I've also
mean-
noticed a lot of like chronic smokers. I'm not saying like
Yeah,
You-
no, that
they-
was
they-
that was the point I was gonna make.
well,
as well.
my point against that is that it's been for years before I was smoking.
but let's be honest, it probably isn't helping.
Oh no, it absolutely isn't. helping,
Yeah.
But I don't think it's made it any
No.
worse.
Yeah, it's definitely not made it worse, but it's not making it better.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be 100% honest. I smoked a batch bowl like a week and a half ago, and I don't think my mentality's really recovered entirely. Like, I still think like I'm not fully there half the time.
No, I got
I mean, it sounds like bullshit, but at the same time, like, I sat there for an hour and a half paralyzed. Like, I couldn't move or anything, and then for like weeks to come, or like days to come, I just like I couldn't form a decent enough sentence. Not
Dude,
like I would legitimately slur my words. Like, honestly, I was just like so fucking out of it.
Dude, it's like how the Misfits mentioned in one of their podcasts that Fitz and Bucks, they both were given edibles. They said we want small edibles to help us like fall asleep, like 25 milligrams, right?
Yeah.
And the guy was like, okay, here's some 25 milligram edibles, and he gave them 2 pills, and they were 100 milligrams. And
Yeah, that's not 25.
he did it to fuck with them.
equals 100.
He did it to fuck. He
25.
did it to fuck with them. But the thing is they got like they didn't get high, and they wake up the next morning and they're fucked. And they're like,
Yeah.
they haven't recovered. It's been like 2 weeks, and they're still like,
I have some pretty good stories with edibles because the last time I took them was actually fairly recently as well. It was like last weekend.
Edibles?
So I
dude.
took these edibles. It was a chocolate bar. It had like, I don't know, 300, 400 milligrams of THC
Oh,
in it. We
fuck.
split it up 5 ways. I had a fifth of the chocolate bar, ate that, smoked like 3 bowls. So I was high, and then the edible high hadn't set in yet.
Yeah.
And at the time, it was like 2, 3 in the morning, and I had to work at 11. So I slept already pretty high from the bowls that I had taken.
And you wake up and you're
And
like,
then I
oh
woke
fuck.
still fucking ripped out of my mind because of the edibles. And I went to work.
And you chopped your finger.
Oh, no, okay, that wasn't actually when I cut my finger. It was like, because I was doing a morning shift that day. Like, not the day that I cut my finger, but like, anyways, so I woke up in the morning, I got to work, and I was just fucking ripped out of my mind. I was like, I didn't want to make eye contact with anyone because my eyes were beat fucking red.
You're like, bruh.
I legit, honestly, I looked like I woke up and had a wake and bake. Like, I honestly just hit the fucking pipe, like, right before I work, kind of fucking high. Like, I was so fucking gone.
Dude.
I was still waiting by like 6 p.m. that night for the high to wear off. It was fucking crazy.
On my last day of 11th grade, I smoked fat, like huge rip on a fucking pen, right? And it was one of those like, what is it? Those carts that hit really quickly. And I was not like, I'm talking about like 5 seconds, 10 seconds sort of shit. Huge fat rip, and I remember walking out the door, opening the door, and just getting hit like so fucking hard. And I literally almost like, I was walking forwards, and then I just literally almost fell completely over. And I was like, holy fuck. And I was fucked for about 4.5 hours. Like for the first hour, I was supposed to be watching anime, right? And I was kind of having a panic attack for no reason. And then once I got over that, I was ripped, like, as you said, out of my fucking mind. I was sitting there, like, what's the word? You're half asleep but half awake. Like, what's the word for that again? Like,
just drowsy.
What?
Drowsy's pretty good.
But it's like I was asleep, but I also wasn't asleep, you know? But I was just sitting there, like, I know anime's playing, but I'm like, bro, what the I couldn't speak. I couldn't move. I was just like sitting there. I was like,
it's like a thought paralysis almost. That's basically how I was when I took that batch bowl. I was just fucking paralyzed for like an hour and a half.
My brain turned to ditto, like fucking goop. Like someone put a blender in my brain and just said, "Go."
Okay, I'm not gonna talk about my brush with Nosavo was there.
Yeah, I'll just explain it for you. Venus was doing tabs for a while, you know, like acid tabs. He's doing it quite a bit, you know, like once every week or something. Every time he went to his dad's.
No, I didn't.
Wait, is this
once
that
every month?
Story?
Yeah, it's that story.
Yeah, it wasn't even like that. It was like,
well, you just had them and you were bored there. So, example of how weird he was, how fucky he was. He was like, he picked up his pair of freshly cleaned out of dryer socks. He was like, bro, my socks are wet, dude. And we're like in the group call. And we're like, Venus, what? And he's like, bro, my fucking socks are wet, bro. And then we're like, Venus, calm down. And he's like, dude, my socks are wet. And he like almost started crying over his socks being wet when they were clearly not wet. Like he was filming his socks, they're dry as day, and he's like, bro, my fucking socks, dude. I don't know what to do. My socks are wet, bro. And it was so funny. And he went into the kitchen.
Bro, wait, I remember one thing I remember from that.
Yeah.
Like, I forgot how to tie my shoe.
Yeah, no, you were like, you put on your shoe, you tried tying your shoe, like, at the front, like, part of the shoe. So it's like he grabbed the laces and tried looping around, like, the front lace that starts the laces on your shoe. He tried doing shit like that, and he was like, oh, fuck, man, I'm done. And he just, like, walked into the kitchen and, like, tried to get some food and didn't get food. Like, he grabbed food and said, oh, that was some nice food. And he just put the food back down, dude. I was like, the fuck? I was like, dude, did you absorb the food?
He's like fucking Datara from Naruto. He's got mouths on his hand and just
yeah. He's like just like, I'm going to absorb this chakra. But it was, Venus was really weird that day. That was just the main story I remember. Like, I don't really remember back when he was on tabs much, but that was the main one. And then I remember in the middle of school, he said he went to a bathroom and took a hit he smoked weed basically for the first time. And throughout like the whole entire time, he kept going like, bro, I feel floaty. I feel floaty. It was so stupid. But
So I have about 2 potential stories of me getting high as balls.
yeah.
One is my very first time smoking.
Okay.
So, I was a young lad of about 15.
15.
Years of age.
That age is a good age.
And I had just gotten home from school on this particular Friday. And on this particular Friday, my parents happened to be out of town.
Ooh.
They were out of town on just a vacation for those two for the week.
Yeah.
And the only people at home were me and my brother.
Ooh.
Brother comes down the stairs and starts to speak to me. And he asks me, "Have you ever smoked before?" And I tell him, no, I haven't tried it. And he just kind of looks at me and smiles, and he goes, "Give me a..."
Mm-hmm.
And so, he comes back down later. Fucking 1.5 foot tall bong. Nice piece of glass.
Ooh.
It has a massive slide on it that probably fits like a gram in it. And so he packs it all the way up nice and tight. And he says to me, "I don't trust you to burn this, so I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to give you a small hit. I'm not going to burn it all." And I was like, "Alright." And he explained to me how to take a hit and everything. And I did it. And he lied. He burned the entire pack.
And that was your first time?
That was my first time smoking.
Yeah.
I made my way over to the couch, and after kind of laying down, it was half laying down, half sitting, it would take me 3 minutes to stand up. I was struggling. The other experience was I had already been smoking for a very long time. This was about a year or so ago. I was at a friend's house, and he was like, "Hey, let's pull out the old bong." When I got there, I was like, "Alright," everyone was just smoking bowls before, and I was like, "Cool, they bring out the bong when I got here." And what I didn't expect was, I suspected a normal session of just, we pass it around for a round, maybe two, and then chill out. He did not stop. We passed it around for about 4 or 5 rounds, until eventually he was like, "Alright." And I just remember him standing up and being like, "Alright, who wants to go out and do stuff?" And I was unable to stand up. I was stuck back, just what?
The fuck?
You want me to move?
No, that's yeah. Moving is hard when you're really high, because I the first time I got high, I had a full-on panic attack, and I had gum in my mouth. I was like, "Bro, this gum's super epically cold, and I need to get it out of my mouth now." So I got up to go to the trash can in summer school, and bam, I could not walk. I was like, that was my first time experiencing walking while high, right? And you know how normally when you're high and you try and get up, you're like, "Fuck, I can't walk." I didn't do that. I skipped that step because I was having a panic attack, and I just bolted up and tried walking to the trash can. I was bumping into every desk. I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" I was like a rag doll. It was great, but man, it was so stupid. But another thing is that Therese told me that when he first took a tab, or not first, but when he takes a tab, he had an experience where it was Monday, he took the tab, and then it was Tuesday. That was it.
Yeah, that was an experience.
Those are the interesting ones, where you just fucking pop it one day and then you come back and
Next
it's another day.
Just I guess I had fun.
I don't remember it. No, but
I remember the first time that I had gotten high, and it was actually I had been planning for weeks to smoke pot. I was just I don't know, I was just had the mindset that I'm gonna try pot for the first time, and it was
dude.
it was the summer from grade 8 to grade 9, because I know a few of my friends had smoked at that point. And my best friend at the time, who was in grade 7, had a bunch of his friends. They were in the subdivision that I used to live in. And we just kind of met up. And then they were like, "Oh, yeah, we're just going to go chill in the forest at this little spot." And then kind of camp there tonight. And we were going to smoke some dope. Did you guys want to come with us? And I was like, "Yeah, dude,
You're
sure.
like, "Fuck yeah, bro. This is going to be my time, dude. My time
yeah,
is
and
now."
it was my time. I was fucking hyped. So we hiked.
Yeah, nature.
Nature!
We hiked for 30 minutes through the forest to get to this fucking spot, and there are There's like a canopy set up of like a tarp, and then there's some like couches underneath the tarps, and there's a fucking like there's a spot for a fire pit and shit like that. And then we all just kind of sit down, and like a couple people took a bowl, and they're like, "Yo, Ethan, have you ever smoked before?" And I'm like, "Nah, man, but I've been like looking to do it. You want to like?"
They're like,
Pretty
bro.
cool if you would let me smoke. And they'd be like, yeah, dude, sure, go ahead, have a bowl. So they packed me a rimmer. I fucking like I amazed these kids. Like, this shit was crazy. I took that hit, fucking one rip, took the whole bowl, ghosted it. And these kids were like, yo, what the fuck, you're a champion. Seriously, you've never smoked before. And I'm like, yeah, bro, I've never once in my life smoked. And then they're like, all right, dope. Well, we're gonna keep taking bowls. And then my buddy Drake was like, yo, I'm going to spark up a joint. You want to, like, smoke it with me? I'm like, yeah, dude, fuck it. Let's just get high as shit. So we start smoking that. My buddy, was, like, really wanting to smoke, but he wasn't, like, he was very, very hesitant because, like, he wanted to, but he wasn't allowed to stay over at my place that night, or so he thought. And then, so he didn't smoke, and he was actually kind of sad because he really wanted to smoke with me that night as well. It would have been a really fun time, but like he didn't get to smoke, which was too bad. But anyways, moving on. So like the people that are there, we're all high as shit except for my one friend, of course, and they order a pizza to my one friend's house in the subdivision because none of them like lived in the subdivision or anything. So they ordered it to this one friend's house. They got Domino's pizza. They had to go there. So we all go. They're all walking. I have my fucking bike. So I'm biking, ripped out of my mind you. Fucking this thing. Okay, so this spot in the forest was up like a steep hill. I swear to God, it was like an 80-degree fucking hill. I had to climb down that shit, ripped out of my mind. Legit tunnel vision. There was like, I could see maybe like a little curve. And then the rest were like, my peripherals were black. I could just see straight. Like, it was fucking crazy. But then anyways, we go to get this pizza. I bike home. And then I walk in my front door. My mom's just chilling at the fucking on the couch, and she's like, "Where's Braden?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "I thought he was staying over tonight." And I'm like, "No, you didn't say he could." And she's like, "Oh, I thought I did." Oh well. And then I messaged my best friend, bro, and he was like, "Fuck, I really wish I had a smoke now because I could have been spending the night at your place." And yeah, so that was like my first time smoking weed. The interaction with my mom afterwards was like fine. Like I wasn't panicked. I was just fucking having a normal conversation with her, and that was like the best thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
It basically, like, once you get through that first interaction and you know you can do it, you can just do it every single time at that point.
Yeah, for me,
you reminded me that I have a reputation as well among my friends, because you said that you took it like a champion your first time.
Yeah.
I have a reputation for just always doing that, because my friend has started this movement that I have been a part of since I started smoking, where if you're smoking bong hits, you don't like corner it and pass it off. You clear the whole thing and pack another one and then pass it. It all just depends on how much you want to smoke. You just pack enough for you to hit in one hit. So
yeah,
I always pack like pretty much to the brim and then just rip the whole thing. And I've actually gained a nickname among my friends in real life. They call me the Iron Lung because it's genuinely rare for me to cough.
Oh, damn. I've heard you cough before. Damn.
And how far into this are we?
Dude, 7:29, bro.
it's like, yeah, it's been half an hour.
I think I'm gonna light one.
Yeah, no, but like, I remember, I think it was January of this year. I'm in the middle of school, right? My friend Excellent, Daniel, and I, we're in the bathroom. We're like, fuck. I'm like, I don't want to do this project for my U.S. history class. So this was 11th grade, right? And so Excellent's like, bro, Ian, I know you don't smoke much, but you want to hit it. I'm like, yeah, sure, dude. You know what? Fuck it. I don't want to do this fucking project. So I hit it, and I remember going back in. I was like, oh, bro, this is fucking great, dude. I was like, my eyes were like Asian eyes, dude. I was like, bro, this is fucking epic, bro. And I remember going back on my presentation, and I come back the next day, and I'm like, I look at the carnage that was this presentation. My title was Education and Education, How Education Made Education Fabulous. And I was like, the fuck? And I read the rest of this, and I see education was made in the 1300s, something like that, in that time where everyone was like, I want to learn. I was like, dude, what? Did I research this? And then it said background. I want to learn. It's like font 28 on the page. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like Comic Sans. So I go on the next slide, and I go on the next slide, and it says background info. I'm like, oh, I did research for this, and it says Wikipedia. Wait. Does that say Wikipard? And I'm like, what the fuck is Wikipard? So I'm reading this. I'm like, I got this from Wikipedia, and it says education, and just nothing. It's just education, bunch of spaces. I don't want to be here, and I like it. And I was like, okay. And then what's my final slide? It says, thank you for education. I'm like, dude, I was done after the education and education.
Oh, that reminds me of the time I went. Oh my god. Okay, so like this one time I smoked. It was like 11th grade.
Yeah.
Fucking. It was during lunch, right after gym class. I had gym class with a couple of my buddies in the fucking second period. So, me, my friend Julian, and my friend Sam.
Oh my god, I'm a retard.
My friend Julian is like, yo, y'all want to kick a sesh back at my place before the next period? I'm like, yeah, sure, dude, fuck it. And then my friend Sam's like, yeah, dude, whatever. We have physics. It shouldn't be too bad. So we go and we kick a sesh at his place. To start ripping on his vape, and his vape had a shitload of nicotine in it. Like, and it was freebase, so it's not even like it was smooth. It just fucking hurt. It had like 28 milligrams of nicotine, and I couldn't hit the thing.
Oh, dude.
Anyways,
nicotine burns. Sorry to interrupt,
dude,
but nicotine just
no,
hurts.
it does though, 100%. Like,
I can't do it.
If you're not used to it, it's so fucking bad.
I don't want to get used to it either, because I know nicotine's really bad for you.
Oh, it is. Like, I've been really struggling to quit. Like, I've been trying to quit smoking for, I don't know, a couple weeks now, and it's been really tough.
No, it's because like
I've still been vaping, but like, I'm fine with vaping because I mean, sure, it's like it's been pretty harmful, but like, it's not like
vaping over cigarette any day.
Yeah,
basically,
it's
like they know that cigarettes cause cancer, and
Yeah.
I like the way vaping works. I genuinely just don't think it will. Like, sure, the coils get hot enough, and like I don't think like the one thing that they say with vaping. I just went off on a huge tangent, but anyways, the one thing that they like argue against vaping is the fact that like metal flakes just like fall off your vape and like off the coils, and like you inhale them because they get that hot. Like, no, they really don't. There isn't a like there's not a material
that's a shitty
in that
fucking
vape.
Like, that's a shitty
I mean, it's a
vape if it
boomer.
does.
Like, what?
Like, yeah, but no, for me,
Boomers are used to their quality of shit like just fucking up all the time
I
and
know.
backfiring on people. Like, they don't understand the fact that like we've gotten stronger as this like and smarter as a society, and we
Yeah.
understand what we're putting into our bodies.
not for me.
but,
It's
like-
like, oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
I remember first time I smoked a Juul, right? Fat
Mhm.
rip, didn't know what I was doing. No idea what nicotine was going to do to my fucking throat. And oh my god, I remember eyes instantly water up, trying to hold in the cough. It's summer school. I'm like, I can't cough, dude. They're right outside. And they're all looking at me and they're like, fuck. Because they knew exactly what I did. They've probably been in this situation where it's like first time like doing a Juul, right? Taking a fat rib. Because like they saw my eyes and they were like, oh shit, dude. And they were like looking at me and they're like, dude, don't cough. And I'm like, and I remember it hurt so badly. But the next day, I wanted more. Like I felt like I wanted more. Like the burning in my throat. I don't know how to explain it because addiction's weird. But it's like it felt like my throat wanted the burning because it was irritated, and the only thing that would soothe it was the burning. That's how it felt.
True.
But other than that, let's try and go on a different topic. So,
Well, story. So I went back to my physics class. Fucking yeah. So this is like academic physics, like university physics that I'm taking in fucking high school. And then I go back to my class, high out of my fucking gourd. I was so ripped. And I literally just sat there and drew on my page for the entire hour and 15 minutes that I had physics. My teacher just walked by and he's like, "Yeah, you seem to be working pretty hard." And I'm like, "Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of stuck on this question." And he's like, "It seems that way." And then he fucked off again. I'm like, "Okay, well, he definitely knows I'm high as shit, but like, I'm high. What am I going to do about it? I'm already there." So, but yeah, experiencing physics while high was not something I would recommend because it's already a tough subject, but I find it a lot of fun, but still don't fucking do it because it makes it so much worse.
Yeah, for me, let's just do this. Honestly, there's one thing I've never really gotten about society, and that's like segregation's gone, right? But like, why do people still kind of like separate into their own groups? And like another thing I like thinking about is like, what makes you do the things like throughout your life? You make decisions, people make decisions, and what makes them make those decisions? What like experiences have shaped them as a person to make them react to a decision the way they do? You know? Like, I love psychology and I love some sorts of science, but it's like the one thing.
Well, that's all like neuroscience.
Yeah,
and,
like the
like,
one thing is
neurotoxins
like,
and like reactions inside
how
people's
do
brains.
why
that,
do
like,
people react the way they do? Like, you right
Just-
now, if a fucking cup,
Just,
yeah,
it's just due to personal experiences, everything they've gone through their life, just how their memories form everything like every memory they have shapes the way they think.
it's like
and it's so hard to pinpoint because there are so many different factors that all come into play. Like there are like sure there are some people that are super similar in nature, and then like they go home, but it's two different like it's
two different people, yeah, two
family
different
settings at
experiences.
home. Like you could have like one person where they come home to fucking just constant mental and physical abuse, but then they go back to school and they're like this super nice kid. Or you could have this super nice kid go home to a super nice family and then go back to school and like they're super nice. Like that's just how they were raised to be super nice, and rather than learning from terrible experiences at home and then coming to school and not being that same person, because you just kind of like, I don't know, you learn to be almost a leader by example and just like change the way things are, because you know deep down that like as a human that it's not a way to treat other people in a sense. And that's why people make the decisions that they do, because like 90% of the time it's just like they feel they're doing what's right.
Yeah, for me,
And like that's just like, that's, I don't know, that's just kind of how people are written. Like that's how people are wired, is to do the right thing. And a lot of the time it's the same thing that other people do. It's just like creating friend groups and stuff. Everybody does it.
yeah,
Like everybody just like separates off and then they talk to people that they like and don't talk to people that they don't necessarily get along with. Like it's just how
For me,
people are written, because we
Ooh.
have strength in numbers, I guess. But
yeah, for me, I've been living in like a, you know, I've throughout my life I've lived with a complete alpha male, and I got bullied. So naturally, when you really think about like who I've become to be, even though I can be an alpha male and I really can be, I always want to be that nice kid. But because I'm always that nice kid, you know, I kind of turn into a beta. I'm always thinking about what others like, you know, if they're talking about me, or like because of the mishmash of like fucking of like experiments that really was my life. Like my home life was great and then shit mentally, and then my school life was horrible physically and mentally. But I go home to a nice family. I've just been through some problems, and it's like when you mishmash an alpha male family plus getting bullied, it completely like it snaps you, you know. It's like not in a bad way, but it changes the way you think about things. Like normally if I lived in an alpha male family, like I'd go to school and either be like not alpha male at all, like be the exact opposite of my parents, or be just like them. But like because I got bullied it really like changed me in a way that it was really unprecedented and like unpredictable. I've turned into a person that I care so much, not about me, but about how I make others feel. I don't care what you think about me. I don't care about anything that you could say about me, but it's all how I make you feel. If I make you feel like shit, I'm so sorry. If I make you hate me, it makes me sad. Like I've always been paranoid since middle school about like making people hate me. It's not even like I don't care that they hate me or not. I only care that I've affected their life in a personal way towards me through my actions towards them.
I'm like that. I just don't care at all. I'll just be myself.
You're cutting out a lot, Venus.
What?
Yeah. Now go.
I'll just be if people don't like who I am, I'm not gonna change myself to like conform to them.
Oh my god, it's warfare, but like reasonable.
I mean, that's basically like.
But that.
Sorry, I
just
cut
gonna,
you
like-
off, but like, it's the same. I'm basically the same way. Like, I don't care if you don't like me necessarily, but it's the same thing with Nosavo. Like, if we're on bad terms, I'm gonna try and fix them because I don't like to be on bad terms with people.
It's like
I just don't even care. Like people,
you're cutting out.
if people just like, if people get on bad terms with me, I don't necessarily try to fix them. I'm just like, okay, you're on bad terms, so I just won't talk to you. That's fine.
I mean, see, there's another like part to that is like if it's in real life, I don't want to be in bad terms with you, but if it's on the internet, like go fuck yourself. I honestly couldn't give a shit. Like I know I'm not going to see you in person like all the time, so it literally just doesn't affect me like whatsoever.
See, because
And I think that's the biggest thing is I'm not thinking about it as much if it's online because it's like, okay, well, I'm on bad terms with this person, but they're a dickhead and I can block them. It's not a big deal. I can't block people in real life. And if I see them, it's like, oh, hey. And then they're like, fuck you. And I'm like, okay, sorry. And I leave. Like, that's just how it goes.
Yeah, for me, an example of what I've kind of turned into is when I first met Trees here, fucking hated me. He absolutely despised me. I like the only thing he'd hear from me was just me calling his name and telling him something. And that like throughout that time, I genuinely liked Trees as a person, and I did want to talk with him. But I really started thinking that year about like why some people just didn't like me the second they met me, and I always thought about it, and I kind of came to the conclusion that I need to kind of change who I am. I'm not, what I'm doing isn't really, it's not working, you know. If both people online and offline are hating me instantly after our first talk and not giving me a chance, then obviously I'm doing something wrong. And so I spent the rest of that year trying to completely change really how I acted. And that was to go down to my roots of who I am, like mentally and physically as a person. And that was to pinpoint what really I thought the cause of my problems was. And that to me was my ADHD. And that was a grind, like no joke. I know I'm using that. I know I'm using that word unironically, but that was a grind. To get that in check was a real grind, especially without meds. But other than that, because of what I've become, because of how I've changed, I've been able to meet people that I genuinely care about. Like, I've been able to meet the person I talk to a lot. You know, I talk to her a lot, and she means a lot to me. You know, and my friends, they mean so much to me. Even people online have really changed who I am, and like they mean so much to me. And it just genuinely makes me happy to see that I finally like found the source of my problems and was able to find a way to change it, you know.
It's a good thing too because like sure some people like definitely like don't need to change who they are to be happy, and as long as you're happy with yourself, then like that's really the big thing because like I don't know. You can be. How do I how do I put this in like
You can be a fucking
decent
dickhead.
words? Like, I mean, I guess you could be a
dickhead.
you could be a dickhead and be like, yeah, okay, I'm happy with my life, and as long as you're happy with your life, people are gonna see that. They're gonna like.
They're
I
gonna
mean, yeah, okay,
gravitate
this guy's a
towards-
dickhead, but he's not a dickhead to me because I'm fine with him being the way he is to other people. Like, I don't
Exactly.
really care.
That's me. No.
You're cutting out.
What? Yeah, I know.
You gotta stay close, brother.
Yeah,
But like,
I was just saying that that's me in a nutshell, honestly.
Yeah. No, but another
like the biggest thing is like you change yourself a little bit, and even the little things, like if
They
you're
always
happy
matter.
with the way you are, yeah, like if it makes you happy, makes you comfortable in your own skin, then like that's really the big thing. Like as long as you're happy with yourself, then like live life the way you want.
But I genuinely think this podcast has turned into a very serious talk, you know.
It's very philosophical at this
But
point.
Deep.
at this point, I really do like this because talking about, you know, who you are, your experiences, it makes it so we can like become more comfortable with each other and like keep talking, you know. And I genuinely think that because of all the stories we've shared, if we ever do this again, this will be a lot better. Now, it's obviously not the end of the podcast, but this is trying to like something I want to like, you know, mention. It's just
Bro, I'm 14 and this is deep.
no,
I'm
but
crowing to a Bart Simpson edit in the background. Where's my weed? I'm gonna take
No,
a
but,
minute to
genuinely,
soon.
another thing I want to talk about is like I love colors, you know. I love flowers. I love plants. I love animals, and like I really want to know what
Nature.
I want to know what flowers are thinking, bro. I want to know what that fucking that big flower bud of a weed that I'm smoking is thinking before it dies.
I mean, plants are sentient.
Yeah, so you know that weed you smoke? What is it thinking before it gets smoked and dies? What do you think it's thinking?
Well, it's already
Dead. I know that, but just if it was alive, you know, it'd be like, fuck yeah, bro, I'm about to make this guy high
When
as
it was
shit.
still, like on the planet kind of deal.
I'd like to imagine that it would be happy about it. That's its job.
No. I'd like to imagine that the weed, that shit, right? Like, you know, the shit batch you get.
He's
That-
kind of just like,
No, he's like depressed. He's like, bro, I've been having a bad day, man. I can't hit you really hard. But that good flower that you get sometimes, you know, I want to imagine that
Well,
weed's
that's-
been having a good day. He's like, bro, I'm gonna get this man fucked.
See, and that's another thing is like if you nurture your plant enough, it'll give you a good bud. Like that's the thing is if you
Yeah, I
nurture
know.
it enough, if you're not nurturing it enough, it'll be shit weed. Like that's just it. It's like you took care of me, so I'm gonna take care of you. It's like I'll like scratch my back and I'll scratch yours kind of.
Yeah, I know. It's like,
I don't
but
know.
no, but another thing that I want to talk about is GTA 5. Now, I know
What?
this is a complete segue from weed,
Wow.
weed, life talk to weed to GTA 5. Now, GTA 5 cops are hilarious. No. Listen. I know I went off topic, but think about it. They just shoot you because you're black.
for standing.
You just need to switch to like, I don't know, like they do shoot you for standing
you
actually.
Just do like a simple misdemeanor, like crashing this car. And
You
then
hit
shooting
you hit a
somebody.
trash can. Hey, you! And just start shooting you. It's so
You
funny.
can stand 10 feet away from them, and then they will pull their weapons on you.
Yeah, it's so
But-
funny.
Okay, so you'll run into like someone's car or just stand next to the police station and they'll start shooting at you. But you can walk down the street with like an AR and no one will do anything about it.
Yeah, no, it's
That game's supposed to be realistic.
I literally hold out my minigun sometimes. They're just like, as you were. And then I literally just accidentally bump into a woman and they're like, you! Get on the ground! And they like start shooting me before I get on the ground.
Just hold an RPG, and you just walk by them, and they say, "As you are, citizen.
No, they're just like, I see you, as you were.
Move along, citizen."
Move along. No, but, oh, dude. I
Or
love games, dude.
or
There's-
no, or like the situations where you're just like driving down the road and then the cop runs into you and then you get wanted for it.
I know. They bump into you. They don't turn on their blinker and they just slap into your car and they're just like, It's so, dude, I love GTA 5. No, but it's like, video games are like, I don't get why people hate them. I mean, I can understand why people hate them, but like, they genuinely are just better than your boomer ass sorry. I'm sorry, but I don't want to play sorry, dude.
I got a good video on why people dislike video games.
It appeals to like the male fan.
No.
No, man. You know what? Fuck it. I'm playing it.
Did you know that 9 out of 10 kids play video
That
games?
no matter how long you play video games. I won! Radical!
But did you also know that video games
God.
cause violence?
It's time to play. For real.
Stop your children from playing video games today.
Now that's a
Now
pro
that's
gamer
a pro
move.
gamer move.
Before it's too late.
Wonder why people hate video games.
Boomers think Tetris causes violence. Oh my god, my friend won in Tetris. What a pro gamer move. Radical. Time to kill him. No, just, I absolutely love, like, the way adults treat video games. It's like, it gets a laugh out of me every time. It's like, if I'm having a bad day and I'm bored, anytime I go up to my dad and he starts ranting about video games, it's just a great way for me to get a laugh and know that my day's going to be just fine. You know? But it's like, honestly, it's actually ridiculous how they treat us for doing what we like when they sit in front of a TV drinking beer all day. Like, I don't understand why they always get mad at us for doing something that we enjoy doing that at least makes us move our fingers instead of getting a beer belly in front of a fucking football game, you know? But other than that, I mean,
they argue that's not productive.
yeah, but neither is getting a beer belly in front of a football game and then yelling when they get a goal. My dad, like, yells at me for getting, like, he yells at me for yelling in the garage over a video game. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I understand that, but don't get mad at me when, like, you're watching a football game. You're like, ah! And I'm just like, okay, you know, you don't have to. You know, I just yelled. He's probably gonna get mad at me, but I really don't care. But it's like, yeah, I love video games. I think all of us here can say that, and it's just, it's unfair how a lot of us are treated. Like, I'm not saying this as a joke. I'm saying this seriously. Gamers are kind of like, they're scapegoated in some ways, you know. If you're a gamer, you're expected to act a certain way, be a certain way. You're expected to, like, you know, do certain things, and it's kind of stupid, and I don't understand why. And like, gamers aren't oppressed. They obviously aren't, because you can't tell if someone's a gamer or not. But there's a certain stigma and stereotype to gamers that people just kind of like, they think they're dank meme lords, fucking throwing out the fucking okay sign underneath their waist all the time, dabbing all over the place. But it's like, we're not that. We're not fucking degenerates. Like,
Bro, it's the 9-year-old Fortnite kids. They give us a bad rap.
No, it was even before this. There was a stigma that was even worse with video games, that were like unproductive, lazy little shits that don't do anything except sit in front of games all day screaming and like crying and buying cosmetics. And it's like, the stigma around us is something I've never really understood. But yeah, what do I know? I'm not a boomer. I can't think like them. I'm a zoomer.
Oh yeah, man.
But honestly, I think this was a good podcast. I genuinely think that for our first try, this was definitely. Huh?
Yeah.
I said it might be entertaining.
Yeah, for a first podcast, we genuinely had something going for a while, and I genuinely think if we can get some topics, like conversation starters, and write them down, we could probably like do this as an actual thing, like once every week or twice or like once every 2 weeks, you know? Like, this is genuinely fun. I liked doing this, and I genuinely hope that other people liked it too, you know? Damn, Lemke, what's going on? Oh, he's just not here.
Wow, Lemke is gone.
Yeah, he's been gone for a while, but no, I genuinely enjoyed that. But of course, we have to end the podcast here. I hope I get another 5-star rating by Gamer Dustin. I can't believe you rated us on Yelp, dude, out of all places. But
Congratulations on your fake girlfriend, by the way.
yeah, bro, dude, tell other people about this podcast and tell them that I can give you a free girlfriend. Like, yeah, actually, I think that's the best way to get one, because I know all you fucking dumbass losers out there can't get one yourselves. So, thanks for watching the podcast, and
Watching? You mean listening?
watching.
Listening to?
You know, there's some people. There are those people who like watching the audio visualizer go off every time someone says a fucking word. No, but thank you for listening or watching to the podcast, whichever way you're doing it. And I genuinely did enjoy this, and I can say I think I can say that for all of us, except for the one who was muted for like half of the podcast. But thank you.
Hey.
See you guys.